Well, hello everyone. It's Sharonah Rapseik here, and I'm here with a review of the After Tarot, which is a wonderful deck. I like it for reading for myself and also for, keeping my readings fresh. So let me tell you a little something about this deck that we have here. Okay, it's called the After Tarot, and as you would guess, the cards depict what happens a few seconds later after a traditional tarot card. Now, the traditional tarot cards that we're talking about are the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And this is the box that the deck comes in. I understand that it has been repackaged and is now part of a book set. So this was just a basic tarot when it came out in a classic flip box. This is the flip box that it comes in. And, this is how you would find it. And it's by Lo Scarabeo. And the artwork is by Giulia. And I hope my Italian is pronouncing it correct. Giulia F. Massaglia. So I hope I said that correct. And what you'll find with the artwork is it holds true to the classic images that we know from Pamela Coleman Smith, or Pixie as we like to call her. Now, the basic deck comes with a little classic book, as you would expect from Lo Scarabeo. And of course, it comes in English and other languages. And it was edited by Pietro Alligo. So it's by Pietro Alligo, and the artwork is by Giulia F. Massaglia. So please pardon my Italian if it's not perfect. One day I'll get around to learning Italian, as it is such a beautiful language. So these are the cards, and this is the back of the cards. It's a really pretty back with the roses and the lilies and the double-armed cross, as above, so below. So they have a really pretty back. And let's take a look at the cards. So here we have the classic Fool card, but instead of the Fool getting ready to step off a cliff, he's already stepped off, but have no fear. He's still smelling that white flower, and he's holding on to the cliff, and he is not worried. So kind of proof that if you are the Fool, you're ready. There might be a few slip-ups, but be prepared, and you've got this. Okay, and now I'm going to put down the Fool card. I mean, not the Fool card, the Magician card. And here we see the Magician in action. And the tools, the sword, the cups, the pentacles, and the wand have levitated from the table, and there's a tiny little dove, a little white dove. Maybe that's like the little white dog that is there helping the Magician. And then we have the High Priestess. And when you first look at this card, it looks very similar to the traditional High Priestess, but if you look very carefully, and that's the fun with these cards, to put them side by side with your classic Rider deck, you'll see that she is holding and extending a set of keys. The keys to the secret. And the keys show up later on in the major arcana. And here we have our Empress. And classic Empress, the artwork, very true to the artwork that we know from Pamela Pixie Coleman Smith. But she's the Empress is sitting on her throne. Creation is all around her. And we see that a swan and little swans have come into the picture. And a similar theme, when we get to the Emperor, we have our classic Emperor, but a few seconds later, he is joined by the ram, the classic symbol for Aries. And we have our Hierophant. And what's interesting in the Hierophant is we see here at his feet the keys that were extended by the High Priestess earlier in the High Priestess card, but he has a book open and he is teaching to his disciples or acolytes that are coming to him for knowledge. And we have our Lover's card. And here we have the Lover's card. They're exchanging an apple. And finally, we have the Chariot. And the Chariot, we see the Chariot has begun to move. The charioteer, he's extending a wand. And the Sphinxes are taking off with the Chariot, and he's moving forward with power and direction. And we have a very sweet little strength card. Can't say anything else, that it's a very sweet and gentle. She's closed his mouth and now she's hugging him. And then we have a very interesting hermit. The hermit is at the top of the mountain, shining his light, but his staff has turned into a snake, and he's joined by a black dog or black wolf. And here we have the Wheel of Fortune, very similar to the Rider-Smith one. So just that the wheel has turned a little bit. Okay, so let me just put these aside for a few minutes, and then we're going to go to our Justice card. And I love this Justice card because we see coming before Justice, we see a king and we see a beggar. So that whole thing about justice is the same for everyone, whether you are a king or a beggar. At least it should be. We hope that justice is that way. And then a very lovely hangman. The hangman is hanging from the tree, and a lovely maiden has come in and is providing him with a drink of water. And here we have death. And the sun is coming up, but death does not spare anyone. And in this card, everyone has been taken by the cycle of death, including, it's so sad, the little child is dead and in the arms of the maiden. So it's a very sad death card. And here we have the Temperance card, and we know this with the pouring of the water. And here we have that there is a dove flying out of one of the cups. And here we have the Devil card, kind of very sexy devil. The couple are still bound to him with their loose chains, but they seem to be going at it with some hanky-panky. And our Tower card. So in the Tower card, we see that the falling figures, they've fallen. So this is definitely the end of things for them, and the shaking of the foundation and enlightenment. And a really lovely star. She has the star The stars are shining and she is enjoying a little skinny dipping in the pond. And our moon card. So we have the classic three figures, the crayfish, the dog, and the wolf. But there is a mysterious woman coming down the path in a red cloak. Wonder if we'll meet up with her later on. The sun card, as always, is a really sweet kid card because it's got kids in it. Although it seems like with the sun, there's always another person out there maybe trying to steal the limelight. I'm still trying to figure out this card, but it's fun to consider. And then we have a really clear depiction of the judgment where we actually see the skeletons in the coffin and we see the figures that are rising up to the heavens. And finally, the classic World card. So those are your majors. And then we're just going to go a little more quickly through our minors. So with the Ace of Wands, instead of a hand holding the wand, we see the wand, but we also see the hand holding the symbol for fire, the salamander. And then we have a really sweet Two of Wands, which is traditionally looking for partnership and someone to share the world with, and we see that that has been manifested in a partner. And the Three of Wands, the ships are coming in, but not only is the ship coming in, but it looks like a falcon is coming in with a message. And then we have one of my favorite cards, the Four of Wands. They're getting ready to party and celebrate. And the Five of Wands. Usually this is a combative scene where people are struggling and trying to come up with a solution. It looks like a leader has arisen and four people are sitting down and they're talking and they're figuring out how they're going to put this thing together. And the classic victory card that you see in the Six of Wands, really sweet. He is being met by a maiden and he's placing on her head the wreath that was on the stick. So it's like sharing your victory. And here is our Seven of Wands. Usually you see the person on the higher ground and the sticks are coming toward him. This is very active, very action figure. He's jumped down from the cliff and he is in there and he is going at it, combative and defeating. We have, usually when you see this card, which is the Eight of Wands, you just see wands moving toward a target. Here they've added in that there is also someone aiming an arrow, a bow and arrow. And our Nine of Wands, usually it's one person with a bandaged head in the protective defensive position. Now we see that he's not alone. And finally, our Ten of Wands. Looks like he's put down the sticks instead of having him on his back. He's just doing one at a time, but it looks like he's still going to reach his goal, but maybe lighten his load a little bit. And here we have our Page of Wands off on a journey. Our Knight of Wands dashing into action. Our lovely Queen of Wands. And our King of Wands. He's got the little salamander in his hand. Okay, so let me just put these aside. Cards are kind of slippery and they slide around. So the card stock is really good. Lo Scarabello, they make good cards. So here is our Ace of Cups. Our Two of Cups, really sweet. I love it when they put cats in the cards. So we have a little white cat there. Our Three of Cups. And here was a very interesting Four of Cups. In this card, he's actually taken the cup that the cloud was extending to him, but pouring it out on the ground. So that whole thing of, yeah, I'm gonna wait for what's right for me. I'm gonna be really picky. And now we have the sometimes the crying over spilled milk card. And what's interesting with this one is if you look really carefully, you'll see that there's someone, he's so wrapped up in his own personal sorrows that someone is drowning and needs his help. See in the water? So kind of like get out of your sorrow and become part of the world. And a very sweet Six of Cups. We have the two children, and there's a woman calling them. The guard is still there, but there's a woman maybe calling them in for milk and cookies. And we have our Seven of Cups. He's already taken the prizes from a couple of cups. And really lovely Eight of Cups. And here we have, here's the figure with the red coat going off, seeking enlightenment and leaving behind the cups. And they're not all upright. Some of them are spilled. And there's a maiden who has picked up one of the cups and is maybe waiting for him to return. This is a really fun Nine of Cups because we have, it's the wish card, and the person that has all the food is having his feast, but he's sharing it with someone. So that's cool. Either that or the person is serving him. You be the judge. And really sweet, Ten of Cups with a whole family there, just hanging out by the campfire. And a Page of Cups. The fish has jumped out of the cup. And here are Knight of Cups. He is actually drinking that cup. So that's our Knight of Cups. Or a Knight in Shining Armor may not necessarily be just for you. He might be more into himself. Who knows? And we have our Queen of Cups. She's taking a look in that chalice and looking inside of it. And we have our King of Cups, and he's actually pouring, he's of generosity, and he's pouring one of the cups into the sea. Okay, so let's take a look at the swords. So the swords, like the wands, you have the sword, but you also have a hand that's holding the elemental animal or symbol for air. Okay, so we have a falcon. And interesting, Two of Swords. She's not holding the swords. There's looks like two suitors are trying to rescue her or claim her. Now, here is our always kind of scary Three of Swords, and at least we see the heart has been bandaged up and the clouds are dissipating, so there is healing. We have our Four of Swords, and really interesting. We see that a maiden is coming and bringing a flower to the reclining figure. And our Five of Swords, this figure here, he's liking those swords a lot. He's actually, war is over, but you see that it's not really over, in that there's always someone who wants to start wars again. And we have our Six of Swords, and looks like she's taking the swords with her. She's not leaving them in the boat. Maybe it'd be better if she left them behind. And this is a really funny card in that we have our trickster figure, the thief or the sneaky guy, and it looks like he's stepping into a noose. So it's like saying, you can't, if you're trying to get away with something, you're not going to get away with it. And our Eight of Swords, usually she has to free herself, but there's someone coming to save her. And our Nine of Swords, and look, the figure has taken one of the swords down from the wall, and he is slaying that dragon. So don't worry, you can handle this. And we have our Ten of Swords, and this is definitely an ending for this figure because it looks like they're dropping him into a grave. But with all of the Ten of Swords, we do have a sunrise. But it's over, at least for this guy. Our Page of Swords, our Knight of Swords. We also have another figure. He's in there. He's like, taking control and fighting. I love the Queen of Swords in that, look, there's a little butterfly that has landed at the very tippy top of her sword. And in our King of Swords, he has, I guess, the falcon that we saw in the Ace of Swords is now landed on his hand. Okay, so let's just put these to the side. And we've got, here is our Ace of Pentacles. And we have the Pentacle. And here the mysterious hand is holding a little bug, a little June bug, a little pretty little bug. And here we have the Two of Pentacles. And we have the Three of Pentacles. Really interesting Four of Pentacles. He's holding on to his money, but there's kind of a warning that you might as well start spending some of it or giving it away because you can't take it with you. And here we have the Five of Pentacles. Instead of two figures, we have a third figure in there. And it looks like she may be bringing something to these beggars, offering hope. And then we have our Six of Pentacles. So, he's giving money to the beggars. And looks like he's getting a lot of beggars taking him up on his offering. And our Seven of Pentacles, it looks like he decided to pick one of the pentacles and maybe move on to another field or to start something new, but he's made a decision. So finally we have the Eight of Pentacles, and it's a little different. He's not sitting on the bench. It looks like he's made something with those pentacles. He's completed something. And now we have our Nine of Pentacles, the lady in the garden. And what's interesting, she's taken off of the glove, and the falcon has flown on. Although we still have the little snail there. And there's a really lovely Ten of Pentacles where we have, instead of a lot of people in the cards in the forefront, we do have everyone there, the old man and one of the adult figures, but here the child and the little dog are opening up the chest of goodies. And we have the Page of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, our very lovely Queen of Pentacles, and the King of Pentacles. So this is the After Tarot, and it's by Llewellyn. Scarabeo. They're really lovely cards, and they have on here tools for a spiritual journey. So I love these cards in that you can, one of my favorite things to do with my tarot cards is to make up stories with them and create stories. So just to kind of go over what they're aiming for in the book, they say, welcome to the After Tarot. The concept of the deck is at the same time simple and wonderful. Each arcana is portrayed a few seconds or minutes after the moment we're used to, as it is found in almost all traditional tarot. So the Fool, who is usually portrayed walking near the cliff, the edge of a cliff, is now shown hanging from that very same cliff. In the After Tarot, time becomes as much as important as what is illustrated on the cards. So it's not just to see a scene and let our intuition find the meaning, but it is made to encourage the reader to think forward and backward in time and empower is perception and sensibility. And I do know they also make a before tarot. So this is the deck. If you want, we can do a quick reading. I just need to gather up all of our cards, pop them down, and maybe do a mushy moosh and see what card comes up. They're so pretty. These cards are really lovely. You know, the background is so unusual. So let's just see. Let's see what we get. Okay, so we have the Eight of Cups, and that's with the guy. He's leaving the 8 cups behind. They're usually upright, but here 2 of them are spilled. One of them has a red liquid coming out of it, a white liquid, and he's gone off, but someone else has come to look into the cups. And let me see what they say in the book. So we've got the Eight of Cups. So for the Eight of Cups, it says, the Eight of Cups shows us that when we abandon our dreams, others might claim them as their own. So that pertains to that figure. A woman in a flowing white dress stands behind an assortment of golden cups. She holds one of them in her hands and gazes into its depths. In the distance, a man is walking away toward a distant cliff and distant shores without a backward glance. Okay. So, this has been the After Tarot. And as I said, it's a fun deck to read and make up stories. I use it primarily for reading for myself and also when I want to research the cards. And I do want to let everyone know the same publisher makes a before tarot. Okay? So, I want to thank you for joining me. This is Sharonah Rapseik here from Tarot by Sharonah. And stay tuned to this channel for more unboxings of tarot decks, reviews of metaphysical books, and metaphysical tools. So I am wishing you love and magic, and thank you for joining me today.